Opinion: Why South Africa's liberation movements must rethink their political DNA. By guest contributor. As South Africa continues to grapple with the aftershocks of political liberation, a growing sentiment is emerging among citizens. The era of comradeship may have outlived its usefulness in governance. The post-apartheid promise of freedom has faded into decades of corruption, patronage politics, and a widening gap between public servants and the people they claim to represent. From fighters to politicians, a faulty transition. The transition from struggle hero to democratic leader is fraught with complexity. The former president of Botswana, long criticized for his authoritarian leanings, once issued a warning that resonates deeply today: those who know only the fight for freedom may be ill-equipped to govern it. Not out of hatred, but out of psychological insight, he understood that a survivalist mindset, forged in prison cells and resistance trenches, often clashes with the nuanced demands of governance. Consider former President Jacob Zuma's own reflection at the Zondo Commission: "I lived in prison for a long time, so I cannot live like I'm still in prison. I fought for the freedom of this country." Yet this statement, while evocative, highlights a dissonance. The romanticism of liberation is often used as a shield against accountability. The comrade conundrum. Liberation movements across the continent, from the ANC to ZANU-PF, have struggled with the question of renewal. Loyalty to the struggle has frequently trumped competence. Movement leaders turned politicians often replicate the same patronage systems they once opposed. Dictatorship, some argue, doesn't always wear military fatigues, it sometimes wears the face of political nostalgia. A call for intellectual leadership. 30 years into democracy, South Africa finds itself at a crossroads. The public is weary of recycled promises and comrades who prioritize family dynasties over national progress. It's time, the argument goes, for political movements to embrace a new cadre, leaders who understand policy, economics, and global diplomacy, not just loyalty and rhetoric. The solution? A deliberate restructuring of political wings to include graduates of political science, economists, and public policy experts, individuals trained in decision-making, systems thinking, and ethical leadership. These professionals, unlike the revolutionary icons of the past, are prepared to govern rather than retaliate. From sentiment to strategy, South Africa doesn't need another hero, it needs leadership that marries lived experience with intellectual discipline. As more citizens push for systemic accountability and educational qualifications in politics, perhaps the future will be shaped not by those who fought for freedom, but by those who can sustain it.